Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid, ki mimini bal emot. I've set the eternal always before me. God is at my side, I shall not be moved. Therefore does my heart exult and my soul rejoice, my being is secure. For you, God, will not abandon me to death, nor let your faithful ones see destruction. You show me the path of life. Your presence brings fullness of joy. Enduring happiness is your gift. We assemble this afternoon with our family and friends in the darkness that has fallen upon them at the passing of our beloved Sandy. Her passing leaves a hole in our hearts and our lives. Our sorrow leaves us in tears, but through our tears also come smiles of joy and gratitude. Smiles and memories of a life fully lived, with meaning and joy and family and friends and feistiness. We feel joy and gratitude for every single moment that we shared with Sandy. Her life was one that was filled with passion and creativity, determination and love. It was her love that united us in life, and it unites us today. So we come together to remember and celebrate her life, the life of a truly incredible woman. But in times such as these, there do not seem to be words to speak to the whole that we feel. And so we turn to the words of our tradition. The psalmist says, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not sleep. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. And Kohelet teaches that all things have their time and place. There is a season for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to laugh and a time to weep, a time to dance and a time to grieve, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. And so we speak now of Sandy. Sandy like the beach is how she'd introduce herself. She was a Queens girl through and through, and like many New Yorkers of the Rockaways, she grew up spending summer after summer on the beach. This was her place of ultimate peace. It was her place of freedom and joy. It's impossible now to think of Sandy and not think of Cabana D3 at the beach club, not see her sitting out on a beach chair under an umbrella, not see her swimming in the waves. Year after year, summer after summer, and each day of every summer, Sandy would go to the Silver Point Beach Club in Atlantic Beach, her family in tow, carrying bags and towels and the magical card that allowed entry. This is where she went to recharge. This is where she went to be at peace. This is where she went to have fun. Sandy liked the beach, she said. It was even there in her name. But Sandy was originally born Saundra to Rose and Philip Soffer. May their memories be a blessing. Born in Rockaway Beach in 1936, Sandy was born with spunk and vivacity. She was a proud big sister to Sheila. And we're so glad you're here today, along with your husband, Marty. And in time, a proud aunt to your children, Jill and Jeffrey. As a young girl, Sandy was already at the beach, swimming in the ocean, planting a love that lasted her whole life and indeed prolonged her strength and mobility. And what a strong woman she was. strong of body, and especially strong of spirit. When you think of her, the words that come to mind are feisty, strong, a leader. She had spunk. She called herself a tough old bird. And in many ways, all of this led her to be ahead of her time. She married Eddie Seidman, may his memory be for a blessing, and together they built a life grounded in family, respect, and laughter. Eddie was a jokester, always going for the laugh, something he could always make Sandy do. But even in the earliest years of their marriage, it was clear that Sandy was not going to be the traditional housewife. She had her kitchen specialties. You bet, chocolate sauce and whole milk. Sliced bananas and sour cream sprinkled with sugar. She was not known to be a great cook, but she was a hard worker. And truly, this is how she was ahead of her time. She served 4 terms as a president of the Volunteer Guild at the local community hospital. 4 terms. This was not just a volunteer job. It was nearly a career demanding hours and time and energy. And she gave it to good purpose. She would challenge people and the status quo with her feistiness because she wanted to make things better. She drove people crazy with that. But these people loved her because she challenged them, and they loved her more because of her strength of will. People enjoyed that spunk. They saw in her a creative, innovative leader, and they were happy to follow. So happy, in fact, that when her 4 terms as president came to an end, they wanted to create a position for her. Her career continued as she worked for over 20 years as the activities director of Brookhaven Beach Nursing Home. And there she welcomed each and every person with open arms and an open heart. Because this was also Sandy. She was a people person. She loved people. She never met a stranger. She worked with incredible energy to make sure that the residents' quality of life was as meaningful as possible. Now, the nursing home had formed a close relationship with a nearby church, St. Mary's by the Sea. If you don't see a theme, Brookhaven Beach, St. Mary's by the Sea, Catholic church. So when the church suffered a terrible fire, Sandy actually became the fundraising chair for the rebuilding efforts. Her efforts and constant presence at the church made her deeply beloved, so much so that they called her the Jewish nun. Unfortunately, around this time, Sandy's own source of laughter, her partner, her life partner and husband, Eddie, passed away so suddenly. And during that loss, the church, which had received so much attention from her, commemorated a plaque in honor of Eddie as a tribute to Sandy. I really can't think of anything more beautiful, and what a beautiful symbol and tribute to the man and the woman with whom he shared his life, a woman who loved her husband and her work and who gave so much to others. She did give so much, that people person to the nth degree. She just drew people in with that spunk and energy and independence. Her creativity and artistic pursuits inspired, whether it was painting or ceramics. It was her love for theater and for quality television and quality everything. It was the fact that she loved gardening but hated to be dirty. They all formed connections with other people. After her retirement from the nursing home, Sandy did not sit back and rest. Instead, she started her own business, providing and selling women's goods and clothing at an enormous open-air flea market in New Jersey, managing inventory, purchase orders, vendors, a warehouse, a van, and more. She loved having her own business. She loved the freedom it gave her and the independence it engendered. Again, she was just ahead of her time, spunk in tow. She loved it all. But the truth is, more than her incredible varied career, more than her strength and spunk and independence, Sandy loved her family first and foremost. Her 2 daughters became the most important aspect of her life. Karen and Hillary, you told me that your mom was a mother and also a friend. She raised you to be independent and strong women, to take care of yourselves. These lessons were well taught and well learned. For example, since she couldn't cook, you became the cook, Karen. And your home became the place where all your friends hung out. At the end of a day at Far Rockaway High School, where she attended and Eddie attended and both of her daughters attended, people ended up in her home across the street. And she never knew what she would find when she came home at the end of the day. One time, Hillary painted a wall while she was out. She walked in and said, "I like it." Or the time when Hillary came home with a dog, another dog actually, because Sandy always loved dogs and they were always part of the family. She liked your friends. She loved you. She loved your families. And when you grew and your families increased, to her son-in-law Bob and to her grandchildren, she was in heaven. She adored her granddaughters, Erin, Alexa, and Samantha. There are memories of granddaughters spending summers at the beach. And she adored her great-granddaughter. The light of her life, each of you were. She was proud of your accomplishments, your bat mitzvah, Samantha, high school graduations, and more. She was never happier than when each of you were with her. And I know you all loved her in return. I know you loved that spunk, even if it drove you crazy at times. I know you loved the way that she shared her love of the beach. I know you loved her strength of will, which remained until the end of her life. Karen and Hillary, I don't know the kinds of ways that your mom took care of you when you were young, but I do know how you took care of her. You sought out the best possible care for her. You spent your days with her. You visited and talked more than once a day. She loved art and museums, so you made sure that she saw them. She loved ice-cold water and ice cream and that chocolate, so you made sure that she had it. And with every sip of cold ice water, she would sigh and say, "Oh, that's a machaya." And really, machaya is a perfect word for her too. She was a delight. She was full of life. She was incredible. And her passing leaves us with a sense of loss. Her sister and brother-in-law, her daughters and son-in-law and granddaughters and great-granddaughter, her nieces and nephews and cherished friends and family, we will all miss her. There is a hole in our hearts and it can't be filled. But everything that Sandy gave us in life, every moment of spunk, every moment of love, every bite of chocolate, every day at the beach, they're with us now, as Sandy is with us now. And maybe, just maybe, Sandy's back there in that ultimate place of peace and joy, without pain, surrounded by her loved ones. She's lying on a lounge chair outside her cabana. She's getting ready for us. She has plenty of food, plenty of You Bet chocolate syrup. She's swimming in the salty waters of life eternal. We pause for a moment of silent prayer and remembrance. We read now from the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We now rise for El Male Rachamim, God full of compassion, the memorial prayer. El Male Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamse Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, In Kedoshim Utehorim Kezohar Harakia, Mazhirim Et Nishmat Saundra Seidman, Shel Halcha Le'olama. Baal Harachamim Yastireha Beseter Kenafav Le'olamim, Vayitzror Bitzror HaChayim Et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'tanuach B'shalom Al Mishkava, V'nomar Amen. O God, full of compassion, thou who dwellest on high, grant perfect rest beneath the sheltering presence of thy wings, among the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament unto the soul of Saundra Seidman, who's gone unto eternity. Lord of mercy, bring her under the cover of thy wings, and let her soul be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. Be thou her possession, and may her repose be peace. Amen. We join together now in reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, which speaks not of death, but rather of life, and our gratitude for sharing it with those we've loved. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'alam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May God, who is the source of peace in the heavens, be a source of peace to us, all of us who mourn, all of us who remember. Together we say, amen. Please be seated. At this point in the service, we will all join together in kavura, in the burial. This is considered an act of chesed shel emeth, an act of loving kindness, which we do for Sandy now. It's an act of love that can never be repaid. And if you wish to do so, you are invited to participate.